This is Marshall Warfield.
And Angela Colasanti.
We're talking a little bit about residents speaking for the arts. It's been a wild ride for the past, 4 months now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it started at a school board meeting in April, I believe it was late April. Budget cuts for the arts and several other programs were on the table, and we witnessed a huge outpouring of discourse from the local community. Everyone came to the school board meeting to speak. People for the cuts, people against the cuts, people with different solutions. And it was an exciting meeting to be a part of, to hear all those different voices. But I'm doing all the talking. Angela, what would you have to say about that?
Yeah, it was really quite an inspirational time. We were able to see every type of person come out, young, old, disabled, and speak about how important they felt music, art, sports programs, language, the planetarium was in the Boyertown area. And we got very inspired by that and, felt that there was something more to say.
That's right. This was our inspiration. It was that meeting and all those voices with all the different perspectives. And you called me up, a week later, 2 weeks later?
Yeah, exactly. Something I've been thinking about for a long time is I have a little girl that was adopted from a very poor orphanage internationally, and she really was not able to use her voice when she lived there. And so I sort of saw these two events of people at the school board getting up and using their voice, and us at home every day teaching her that her voice matters and that it's important, sort of as a similar event. And so I thought we got to do something and put this together. And I've been feeling for a while that we just need to give people the opportunity to use their voices. And I personally feel very passionate about the arts, so it seemed like a perfect topic to give this a try.
Right. Do people talk about how important the arts are enough? I don't think so. It can be cheesy, art about the arts or talking about the arts, but I think what we did here was trying to get beyond cheesy to something meaningful. And we'll talk about our hopes later. I'll get to that later. But and as a teacher at Drexel, it is my job every year to make sure that my students are using their voice, respecting their voice, using their voice carefully. We all know how to talk, but it's my job as a teacher to teach them how to say something that matters and get people to respect that voice. And so when you called me and said, let's have people talk about the arts, I was excited. I was excited to contribute all of my writing skills to your project. Because I knew you were bringing the visual arts heat, and I was going to pack the writing heat. Yeah. Yeah,
this is really a beautiful interchange of visual art and linguistics as well. And what we tried to do is to create something where people could write and interact with something visual at the same time, so that people, all different types of people could talk about art and create art at the same time. Yeah. And so these panels that we see behind us here are going to record the voices of this moment in time of how people feel about the arts. What are some of the things you were thinking about as you wrote the prompts?
Well, I would like to go around the gallery, if that's a possibility. Yeah, let's go around the gallery and we'll talk about it. Angela, the first prompt that came to me was, oh my goodness, I can't find it right now. It might have been I support the arts by. It might have been the first work of art I created was. I think I wanted to have people write about how they actually support the arts, whether it's by buying movie tickets or buying theater tickets or making art, and then I wanted to have people talk about that first work of art they created, whether it was in kindergarten or first grade, or whether they were much older when they decided to make something that was meaningful. Those are the first prompts. But, of course, I wasn't in this more than 5 minutes before I thought, I'm going to subvert this. The arts walk into a bar and the bartender says, that's still my favorite prompt just because it's so off the wall.
And I really like, too, how we've captured theater, music, dance, visual arts, because it's all of those things that make the arts, and it's something that we want to talk about. So what are some of your other favorite ones that we have here?
Well, I also like the silly. I have a personal dance that I do called the ... I love that. And as a writer, when I find the right words matters. But I want to talk to you about actually putting the panels together. So if we start back here, like with this, the last panel I guess somebody might see in the show as they walk out the door, or maybe the first panel they see as they come in. In my neighborhood, I know an artist too, and we have this huge panel here, all this wire, all this wood, the strips of paper. I want to hear again how you came to this design.
I was thinking about a way that people could, again, write their feelings out and sort of create a tapestry so that the thoughts come together and weave together and make something strong. And when I started thinking about that, I went back in my mind to a memory of elementary school visual art, where we would take yarn and wrap around a cardboard that had little slits in it called a peg loom. And we would weave some more yarn and make a little pot holder, make a little, table run or something like that, and thought about that most people have this memory in their mind of weaving. And that led me to creating this panel where we sort of just have a basic loom where we take handcrafted, painted watercolor paper, they answer the prompt, and then through reclaimed wood, some steel, some nails, they weave their thoughts together. And as one goes on top of the other, we're sort of creating a dialogue and about this particular thought. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see people interacting with this visual piece of artwork and, in a sense, creating the artwork at the same time, so that everyone has a little piece of it. They're using their voice, and it's coming together.
Why didn't we just put up a web page and say complete the sentence? I'm sorry, I have to ask that. I love how these turned out. I love the fact that we have vibrating strings. That was a totally unexpected result.
Yeah.
I guess they're not vibrating so well in this panel, but why didn't we just put up a website? Why did we do this?
I think that we need something more permanent. I mean, there's people talking all the time online, little bits here and there, every day, every moment, and it just kind of gets lost. And for a topic as important as the arts, I think we needed something that was permanent and long-lasting. It was something that was here and anyone could read, not just people that are using the internet to communicate.
Right, that makes so much sense now. And the materials we used are reclaimed, but they're sturdy. There's something really sturdy about these panels that I never thought about until right now. I'm glad that we did it the way we did. What else is going on that we can talk about process-wise?
We also put together some photography to talk about. One of the things that was really important to this project was the process. And just as you go through an artistic process when you create a piece of visual art or writing, or you're writing a play, you go through a process. And so to create these panels, to write the prompts, we wanted to capture that visually. And so we also have some photography that you've taken, I've taken, some family members have taken, to show what this process was, to go from the inception of the idea, sitting at the school board meeting, to here in the gallery today. And this just shows some of the different materials we used, the places we found those materials. And I think that's really a large part of the story. If we look out towards the front window, we have windows that we found in dumpsters and sidewalks that we've used to draw people in and ask them questions as they're walking across the street.
I forgot about how important process was to us. I'm so glad you just used that word. That is so, if the process hadn't been as pleasant as it was, I don't think I would have enjoyed this project as much. The fact that we could email each other back and forth prompt ideas.
Correct.
We'd meet at your house and we'd put together panels. We would share photographs to see which photographs would work. We talked about where the project would go from here. We had so many meetings and steps to putting this all together that the steps in themselves became a lively and important part of the project. The process was a really important theme of this. I forgot about that. I'm so glad you mentioned the process.
And in the same way that someone comes in here and has their own process of thinking about which prompt they want to answer, pulling the strip, writing it down, weaving it in, and doing it again. So we're sort of asking people, to go through an artistic process of their own when they're here in the gallery, which mirrors sort of the process we went through.
It does. It really does.
How did you come up with Resonance, speaking for the arts? Where did that name come from?
Right, speaking of themes, I don't know. I remember doing a lot of research one night. I think I was up late at my desk trying to figure out which words best reflected the work we were doing. And I think I might have been talking about speech, music, song, voice, and somewhere in all of that searching, I found the word resonance, and I jotted it down, and I brought it to you, I think, like a day or two later, and you liked it. It's obvious that it's our theme, but it also does work as a nice title.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you see going forward for this? What do you think the community will take away when they come here tonight or in the next few weeks and participate in the project?
I honestly hope that they just have a good time. If art isn't any fun, no one's going to do it.
Yeah.
So one of the things I enjoyed about this project was that we were trying to put together something fun.
Right.
it's going to be interesting. Going forward, I hope that more and more people tell their friends, like, hey, I had some fun, or I wrote the most hilarious completion to a sentence ever. The sentence that I wrote is great. You have to go see it.
Right.
So I'm hoping that people encourage their friends to one-up each other in these prompts.
Yeah.
But I hope that people write some beautiful things, maybe even take notes from other people. I have this vision that some people might bring their journals to the gallery and take notes on what they see written down here.
Yeah.
I hope that in the end we can auction off the panels. I think that'll be exciting to see these panels hanging in lobbies or offices in the area or in the region. And I hope that this actually inspires other people to do projects like this in other places. I sent an email this week to colleagues saying that I think this can be performed for other exigencies. And what I meant was that we were responding to the crisis of budget cuts for the arts. But this kind of work we're doing could actually be done for other crises, whether it's a medical crisis or a disaster, a natural disaster. The idea of getting people to write and write and write and write about a single issue might generate more than they realized. So that's what I see going forward, a few different things. But I think it boils down to I want people to have fun. Yeah, what about you?
I just really, when I go back to my daughter and I think about, the metaphor and the similarities, I just really want people to have an opportunity, because I feel that people have a right, they have the ability, and just want them to have the chance to say something and for someone else to read it and get something out of it, maybe think about that, move on, write something else. It's just more, to me, about the process and the opportunity in a small and personal way. So going forward, we'll see.
Yeah, what are we going to do after this?
Catch up on some sleep and not be cutting paper and making panels anymore.
Hammering in nails and stringing wire, although that was fun.
But we'll just see. It's really, these are the voices of the community in a sense. It's up to them to see what happens. It's really, we're just sort of, I think, in a way, maybe just the facilitator.
True. It's not what we're going to do going forward. It's what the community might do going forward, or what individuals who came by might do going forward. And that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I don't see this project being really about us as much as it is about the people that are participating.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of my hope too, is that people understand that and feel that they have sort of just had a chance to say something and to know that it matters.
Do you have a prompt you like?
My favorite one is when I find the right words, because I think that's something I try to do all the time. How about you?
No, I don't. I really wish I could say that I had a favorite one, but a few stand out in my memory, but yeah. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited for what this is going to do and what it's going to bring to the community. Okay?
Thanks for talking with me about this.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Studio B is delighted to have this particular exhibit entitled Resonance Speaking for the Arts. This particular exhibit, coordinated by Angela Colasante and Marshall Warfield, allows Studio B an opportunity to invite the community to express how important the arts are to the value of their lives. We here at Studio B are all about promoting the arts. We're all about allowing the community to come together, to develop new friendships, to learn new things. And this particular exhibit enhances the opportunity to do just that. These young people have worked very, very hard in putting this exhibit together. I can't imagine the number of hours that they have spent putting the exhibit together. But once again, Studio B is delighted to have the opportunity to showcase their work and also to showcase the thoughts and feelings that the community has about the value of the arts in our lives. The arts enhances everything about who we are, why we do what we do, and how we can make life better for ourselves. The arts is about allowing our special gifts to come through. And the arts allows us to connect with one another in a very, very special way. And this exhibit does exactly that. I'm hopeful that you will come to Studio B to learn new things, to enhance your own creativity, to develop new friendships, and to learn more about yourself, because that's what the arts allows us to do. And I honestly believe that the arts, in all of its forms, will allow the world to become a better place. Please join us here at Studio B in one way or another, and we'll hope to see you soon.